Hi, this is Wolf from Tesla Owners. Yes, today I show you something about what is in the Standard Plus and what is not in the Standard Minus. And this is something about these parts. This is a part like what you can buy in the Tesla store. They're performance pedals. So stay with us and you will be amazed how much that costs.
I pressed to say.
Here we are, and that's what I want to talk about, is why is the title Standard Plus minus what? I need to show you what is not included in the Standard Plus. So, and an example is with these performance pedals, how much they cost. On the internet they cost $150 if I buy them directly from Tesla. So, and you can shop there and they get them shipped to you, everything's fine. Now, when you shop around on the internet and look for Tesla performance pedals for the Model 3, what you will find is the same thing shipped from China for $15 and a little bit, and a few cents, including shipping as well. Okay. Well, it takes a couple of days longer, but if you are patient enough, you can get them. So let's say, this is my worst case. Cost $150 and cost $15 when I get it from China. So they are in high demand, so you can easily find them. So it's about 10% of the cost what I paid in comparison to what's sold on the internet, on Tesla's shop site. Good. Now let's make a comparison to what is not included at the Standard Plus. And what is not included is, the first thing is just the little tiny cables. So let me switch around here, take that off and turn it around. And here are those charge cables. Those charge cables are, I think $14.19 at the Tesla shop. Originally, these charge cables came with it. So they are plugging here in the back. This is my Tesla Cam support. I give you another advice for that later. So, and these ones came originally with the regular Tesla long range. They are not with it anymore. So 2 times $14.90. So let's say $1.50, about $3 in value. Next one is, and that's what I almost couldn't believe, they said the package comes with, not this one, an adapter, J7072 to Tesla, and 120. This is this one. It plugs in here on the other side. Now, this is all. So my referral told me that, hey, the guys from the shop told me there's not coming anymore with 14-50, which is actually this one. That's a 14-50, plugs in every RV park. Here on the other side here, 14-50 adapter. That is $35 in the Tesla delivery center. They had some at my last video you saw. So they are coming in a plastic bag. And I, for my customers, did it opposite way. I said, hey, yeah, it's probably 14-30. Let's see what it is. Yeah, this is the 10-30. Then there is the 14-30. Then there is any other one of 240 probably, and then there's another one, I think this is a 6-50. So I bought for my customers a whole bunch of them, so that when they are at home, they can plug it into the dryer outlet and plug it in there, and the next day they can keep driving in the car. So easy it is. The car is full charged. Now, okay, you saw from my last movie, we went into the Tesla delivery center. Thankfully they had some on stock, and they gave him a 14-inch. No, that's a 14-50, I think. They give him a 14-50. Yeah, that's a 14-50. They give him a 14-50. That originally came with the car, so that's $35 more. So we have 15 and 35, $50. Now what else? What else is the carpet in the front? So the carpet in the front is actually, let me go around the car and I'll show you the carpet in the front here. So the carpet in the front is a little bit of flimsy carpet there, but that prevented that if something is laying in the front, that it does not hit the regular metal plate there, because there's a metal plate underneath and there's a tow hook as well, and that tow hook and the metal plug. So when you now dump something in the front, then it is rattling. Stuff is rattling in the front. So I think that's also $35. So means we are now at $85. So if we're taking our 10% and of what are the cost would be, because I got it for 10% for a comparable part, then it's about $8.50. So, and that's what I don't understand. Why are you aggravating your customer for $8.50? Just drop those two cables in there. This is really not much, and drop the 14-50. Then they can charge at any RV park or install themselves a 14-50. I know that Tesla wants to sell the wall chargers. I know that. They would like to sell them. But if the customer give him options, if they want to charge with a 14-50, let them do that. So I had an electrician then coming out, install him a 14-50, and then he bought the adapter for that. Yeah. So, but my point is now, where can you really make money? And you really make money is, I noted down some points here. The first saving is in purchasing. And they are on the right way to do that, because they are checking everything what they purchase. But it's probably also investment products or consumables. What they have not got a grip on yet, most likely, is to put a real pressure, like it is used in the automotive industry, on their suppliers and tell them, you are going with us, you are supporting alternative electric energy, so you are all with us as well, and we need your contribution, and your contribution to a clean environment to support the climate crisis. We need your rock bottom prices. So put a pressure on your suppliers and ask them for their rock bottom prices. That is number one. Next one is inventory control. Now, on a finished goods inventory, they're probably pretty good. They are probably industry leading, because they don't have so many other ones have much more inventory on the finished goods inventory, and that's the most expensive one. However, there is more. There's raw materials and WIP, and they're using in software development, DevOps, means that the WIP in software is so small as possible. That's why you are getting almost every 2 to 4 weeks another set of changes in your software system. But you can do the same thing with your hardware, with everything what's in production, your hardware. So the best thing is to reduce also, not only in software, also in hardware, reduce the WIP. Also your own WIP, what you're producing. And when you do that, sure, there is a lot size question. But at that point, you can use optimum lot sizes. Calculate what the changeover or setup and teardown costs are, and how much of the lot size should it be in order to produce. So when you have optimized lot sizes, then you can calculate what the best lot size is to the amount what you're consuming and producing, the 5,000 to 7,000 Model 3s or the amount of Model S's and Model X's. Furthermore, that was number 3, reducing the inventory and reducing the WIP. Bulk materials, washers, screws, bolts, plastic pebbles or some stuff there. Let your vendor manage that inventory. So that is inventory in Kanban containers where you're paying when the vendor has replaced that Kanban container with, let the vendor supply that directly to your production line. And when the vendor has supplied it, he is in charge of that to refill that shelf. It's a shelf replacement like you have in supermarkets. And that's a shelf replacement of your production line use. And let the vendor manage that, and they give you only then an invoice when they have supplied with more bulk materials. So that your people in material management don't have to deal with that. Sure, that you have to determine a threshold when it is to be a bulk material per material cost, but it will calculate out when the vendor is supplying the materials directly to the production line, and he is in charge of refilling that. So these are all bulk materials, and that can be managed from the vendor itself. Next one, production line supplies. So I understand that you have to change your MRP by the minute, and it might not be by the minute, it might be by the day today, but it should be by the minute. And what you want to do is JIT calls, called just-in-time calls, so that the production lines are being supplied to the minute where the wheel is needed or what any of the supplies is needed to the production line. And when the truck comes too early, you're going to send him around the Bay Area and said, come again in 2 hours because we don't have enough room for you. And we cannot receive that yet. So do a zero control for them. That means if you don't deliver on time, on that time, I'm going to penalize you for that. So be sorry, but you have to be really rough with your suppliers as well, so that they deliver on time at the exact time when it's delivered. And how you're going to do that is you put the regular MRP runs in the first 3 or 4 weeks on a minute by the minute supply. So you have to do an enhancement in your MRP system that it shows not the day of demand of the requirement, even by the minute of the requirement, depending when the production line is determines what is being produced. And for the remaining of one of the MRP demand, you put it on long-term planning. 3 weeks or plus 3 weeks, you put this one on long-term planning and plan then on daily, or you can change the lot size later on weekly buckets for some of the other materials. But on the short demand, you do just-in-time demand calls for that, so that the vendor comes at the exact time when you need it, because that is what all other automotive industries done. And that's what I did before, but I did that with chocolate, because my guys, the packaging material was so delivered that if the production line was stopping, I had to send the truck back. If the production line was running too fast, I had to recall the truck early in. I did not have enough room to store all of the materials, so we had to call them in on a 2-hour window at least. So that is probably the minimum. So that was MRP, short-term and long-term. Next one is, and that's why I think Apple is a good fit, because Tim Cook is the absolute expert in supply chain management. And he turned Apple around, because Apple was similar chaotic like that before. But he reduced the inventory to the absolute minimum. And now comes the last thing, what Apple does as well. Consignment material. They are not going to pay any dime in consignment material until they have used it. And probably you guys are paying way ahead of time when you receive it. then it's staying in inventory and you have to cash advance that material. So it means you have to pay that. So Apple even wanted to pay until the car, or in your case the car or the computer, has left the factory and the customer got it. That is not legally full possible, but at the time you consume it. So put almost all of your purchased material on a consignment stock that you only pay at the time of use. And that is a big saving as well. And that's how you save cash, and not by charging the customer $8.50 more for those 3 pieces there. Okay, that was all, and that needed to be said. That was a free advice for you guys. Okay, bye-bye. Talk to you next time. Oh, I almost forgot about it. One more thing. So just to avoid, it's still bright here, but just to avoid to have this one, so that you don't have any open port anymore, you can take the USB drive out and you can insert an USB 4 port, and it works the same way basically. So you still can plug in here your USB thumb drive. That's a very tiny one, and you see on here it's still there, the USB drive, and you could record, and you can still connect another one over here so that you can charge at the same time as well, and that works. So let me do that here. Oops. Yeah. So now you have the thumb drive and as well the USB connection. Sure that there is not so much power coming through that anymore, and then you have 2 more on the other side. That's the 4 hub. I think probably the maximum what you can put in there. Yeah, that's what I wanted to. That's all what I want to tell you. That was additional, a little tip there.
I press to say